Hey everybody, Tim and Chucky here for the 6th movie of the DC animated movies, Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. So, a lot of the movies that we've watched have been completely like their own thing, like Wonder Woman, Green Lantern First Flight, stuff like that.
That's a good point.
Superman Doomsday, like the first movie, was actually based off of a comic book. This is actually based off of a comic book, and the animation is kind of very similar to the way the comic looks. So like their abs, like they have like 15 abs.
Yeah.
So we get that. The animated series, like Batman, Superman, Batman Beyond, stuff like that. The voice actors are from that. So we get Kevin Conroy, who we saw in Batman Gotham Knight, plays Batman. Tim Daly plays Superman from the Superman animated series. And one of my favorite actors, Clancy Brown, plays Lex Luthor, Mr. Krabby Patty. Or did you ever see like the original Highlander movie?
Yeah.
He was the main villain in that movie.
Okay.
So we get that. So overall, as a whole, what'd you think of it?
I mean, I enjoyed it. It drew me in. I fell asleep again, but it did draw me in.
They don't need to know that, but yeah, it's cool.
Whatever.
I feel like the movie starts really fast-paced, and then it kind of dips a little bit towards the end. Because especially, like, as we're watching, this movie came out in 2009, and, like, the whole thing of the economy crashing and blah, and I'm like, oh, shit, we're not even allowed to go outside right now. So, this movie's ahead of its time. The whole thing with Lex Luthor being president, which has always been a big DC thing.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
No.
And then I think my favorite scene is probably, it's early, but it's like the climax of where like Superman and Batman are just fighting every single villain. And at first
that was pretty sick.
I tried to keep track of it, where it's like the cold people, where it's like Mr. Freeze, Killer Frost, Icicle, and Captain Cold, and we see Banshee, and then I was like, okay, and now there's Mongol and Grundy, Lady Shiva, Nightshade, Gorilla Grodd, and then when they just came out of the woods, I'm like, fuck it, nope.
Don't care.
I can't keep track of that many people. So, but that to me was like the most badass part of the movie, is just all of these villains at one time.
Yeah.
Like I know there was Copperhead, I know there was Bane, there was a lot of people.
There's a fuckload of people.
Oh. We see Shazam, who I love how they actually called him Captain Marvel, because that was his original name, was Captain Marvel, and then Marvel was like, you can't do that, and so now he's just known as Shazam. One of my favorite scenes was where Superman and Batman go undercover as Hawkman and Captain Marvel. And then finally we get to the end where it's like Toyman, the hero worship, and the pilot. Like the whole ending is very fast forward. I feel like it was more of a build up to that big fight sequence, and then it just peters out a little bit. For you, like I said, so this is actually based off of a comic book storyline. Like, what parts did you like? What parts did you not like? What did you think of the acting? What characters did you want more of?
The Toyman, definitely. I feel like he was short.
The kid at the end?
Yeah, dude. He was the tech guy, and he built a fucking Transformer in, 2 weeks?
Yeah. And I loved how, like, he was, like, this 13-year-old kid, and he's just like, is this rocket going to be able to fly? Well, does Power Girl have really big? Okay, just yes or no. That's fine. Because he's 13-year-old boy, and he's all about Power Girl.
Oh, he's like, if you see her wandering around, you send her to me.
Yeah, he's like, tell her I'm sorry about those X-ray glasses I made.
I gotta start from scratch.
Yeah. So, but overall, would you say you liked it? You didn't like it?
I liked it.
So I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler. This is one of those that it does get a sequel. So we will get a direct sequel to this movie.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's it. It's pretty short and sweet. Like basically what happens if heroes are outlawed. Towards the end, when Lex Luthor is going batshit crazy, like I love Clancy Brown, so I think he handled it great. But I started to get those feelings from like Superman Doomsday, where he's like, "Who's your daddy?"
Yeah, that shit was weird.
Like he was definitely going a little bit crazy in this one.
Yeah.
Which I think that's just Lex Luthor at this point. That's just how I'm going to start seeing him. So that's all I got. You got anything? Last minute thoughts?
No, cool.
Would you want to see a sequel to this?
Yeah,
I mean, you're going to no matter what.
I mean, the sequel could be really interesting. So.
Okay. So that's it for today. So thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys next time for Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. Two Earths.